Oh, well, I guess we're live. Welcome, folks. It is 8 o'clock Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what that means. It is time for YouTube. YouTube? Really? Tank Talk Live. Doing something a little different here today. Doing this on my phone through an app on my phone that I have. I've done it this way before, and it worked well. So hopefully it's going to work well again tonight. We'll have to see about that. You don't get the same notifications and all that kind of stuff. And doing it through my phone, I can't schedule it like I can the other ones. But that's okay, you know, because here we are. And people are finding it. We got 19 people already. I need to find... Okay, I got to do a little bit of technical stuff here for a second, folks. Bear with me, because I need to get to where this video is on the computer so that I can see the comments and stuff like that. Here it is. Because, wait a minute, that's not it. Because I want to be able to respond to your questions today. Today is all about Q&A, but I have to find it. So bear with me here for a second. I've already got 9 people that have commented. Let's see. Come on. Fin Time, there you go. Chris Conley, C4 Spy Girl, William Feltner. Oh, those are the people that are saying these things. So, hey, the people I just mentioned. What, no show tonight? Nope, here I am. Hello, Floyd, Scuba Squad. Yes, we are in the house. It's going to be all about Suicide Squad this weekend. But, okay, so let me... Oh boy, what do we have happening here? All right, I got to find this on the computer so that I can... so that I can actually get the chat up on my computer. And, oh, there it is. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let me reference this. Dealing with the flu. Ooh, don't want to do that. Okay, this is not... There it is. Okay, there we are. Okay, that is not the same chat, I don't think. I gotta find the chat. At least I don't think I just gave you a like. Thank you, James Feenan. I think I've said your name wrong in the past, and I did not want to do that again. Bear with me here, folks. I apologize. I've got to find where... I'll tell you what. Let me do this. I've got to find where we are so that I can have better access, so that I don't have to look at this on my phone, because I don't want to look at it on my phone. I want... Where is it? Where is it? Suicide Squad, yes indeed. Cichlid guy, yeah, can't wait for that. I don't care what the critics are saying, because I don't really pay attention to critics anyway. Is this it? I don't know, that's not it. This is really getting frustrating here. Cichlid Squad, I like that. We should create a Cichlid Squad. Oh, I'm getting a little bit frustrated tonight, folks. Yes, indeed I am. The only way I know I could get to it would be through my Kicking Butts channel. I could get to the actual feed, but I don't want to do that, because I need to be able to see what's going on. So, oh well, I guess I'm not going to be able to do that. I guess I'm going to have to. Just do it on here. So look, folks, we got a few things to talk about tonight. Let's see. Okay, 55 people in here right now. That's cool. Welcome all 55 of you. If I have not said your name directly, I'm glad you're here. We got some things to talk about, because, you know, some stuff happened last week that we got to talk about a little bit, very briefly, and then we're gonna get into some other things, big announcements, stuff like that, and then we're going to get straight into Q&A. So The best thing to do right now for all of you would be to hold your questions for a little bit. I am going to have some help with the questions today, with sending me good questions that maybe I have missed. So, that's definitely going to help out a lot. But still, hold on to your questions for a little bit because we've got a few things to talk about. So, I really do like this Q&A format. It's a lot of fun, but it can get pretty frustrating because, people get upset because I forget or I don't answer them and all of that. And, it is what it is. But I'm doing it this way this time on my phone because if you can't tell already, the audio is just, or not the audio, but the video is just so much better than on my webcam. I got a good webcam too. I don't know what. Okay, see, that's what happens when you're in the middle of a sentence and you read comments. My webcam's a good webcam. I don't know why it sucks as much as it does. I don't think it's the webcam actually as much as I think it is Google Hangouts is what we use when there is a guest. But since I don't have a guest on tonight, it's just going to be us here hanging out. I can do it through here. I can have better video quality. So, okay, first thing that I'm going to talk about here today, we're only 6 minutes in, and I'm finally getting to the first thing that I want to talk about. That is, if you are not a member of the Tank Talk Facebook group, you need to get on it because we're going to make an announcement this coming Tuesday. We do live streams every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock on the Tank Talk Facebook group, exclusive for Tank Talk Facebook group members. We're going to make a huge announcement. We're going to make a huge announcement this Tuesday in the next live stream that we do on Facebook. We're going to make a huge announcement. It's going to be the biggest announcement that we've made in a long time. Lisa is going to be on the stream with me, and we're going to make that announcement together. No, we are not opening another fish store. Before anybody asks, that's not happening. But it's something that I am extraordinarily excited about. I cannot wait for, and I can't wait to tell you all about it because it's going to be very, very cool. Now, there's been a lot of stuff going on the last week. We're going to talk about that. But because of that, I've had to be very, very selective of who I allow into the Tank Talk group. Whenever I talk about the Tank Talk group in a video, the requests to join go absolutely bananas. So bear with me a little bit. I will let you in before the stream, don't worry, but it might take me a little bit of time to get in there and accept everybody because I know this sounds creepy, but I have to do it. I literally look at everybody's profiles. Sometimes I even look at who their friends are and stuff like that because the way the internet is, we're up there at like 4,600 members now. So things get a little bit crazy. You get spammers, you get people that start spamming porn sites and all that kind of stuff. So I have to be very selective over who I allow into the group and who I don't. One of the things that I want to tell you, and there's going to be people that are probably going to be upset with me about this, but if you are someone who has created a Facebook profile within the last couple of months, I'm not going to allow you into the group. Because what I have found is all of the spammers, all of the people that do what I'm talking about, they all create new accounts all the time because they're constantly getting kicked out of groups and stuff like that. And so they create new account after new account after new account. So they're always new accounts that we have problems with. So please work with me on that. If you are someone who has recently created a profile and you want to join the Tank Talk Facebook group, private message me on Facebook. If you go to the Tank Talk group and you look at the members and all of that, you'll find me in there. It's John Hudson. You'll see the picture of me. You know what I look like. I think you do. Send me a private message. Or if you know somebody that's already in the group, you know what I'm saying? I will let you in. But if you've only had a page for a few days, I'm not going to let you in. That's just the way I have to do it. So next thing to talk about, it's kind of a segue. What I just talked about is kind of a segue into what I need to talk about that now, and that's last week's live stream. If anybody was looking for it that was unable to watch it live, you couldn't find it. And the reason why is because I took it down. Now, did I take it down because I was ashamed of what I said because I felt bad for what I said. No, neither one of those things are true. I took it down because I gave an opinion about how I feel about something. Apparently, I'm not allowed to do that. Everybody else can express opinions, but I can't. I expressed an opinion. I actually gave advice to people, to smaller YouTube channels and stuff like that. I did not speak down to anyone. I was not condescending in the way I was speaking or anything like that. I just expressed an opinion. And it's an opinion that I formed based on facts. Based on facts that I was given by manufacturers in this industry. And a lot of people hated what I had to say. It was mainly the people that I was talking about that were offended by what I was saying because they are the ones that felt like I was talking down to them. See, here we go with trolls already. Gay, gay, gay. You're a real champ there, League. People got upset with what I said, and a lot of people took it the wrong way, and a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people took what I said in that stream and started campaigns against me and started these social media campaigns and all of this kind of crap talking about me and sharing stuff about me and all. And it's like, really? I'm the guy that tries to stay as far away from drama as possible, and this is what I've done here. So that's why I took it down, because I'm not allowed to have an opinion. I'm not allowed to express my opinion. If I do, then people lose their minds. And so there you go. I'm not really paying attention to the comments here, but I see somebody saying he's talking about getting free stuff. I'm not going to rehash everything that I talked about, because we're going to be right back in the same boat that we were in. But again, I was talking in that stream about something that is a delicate topic for some people, particularly the ones that are within the group that I was addressing, and they didn't like that. So instead of saying, you know what, John's a grown man and he's allowed to have his own opinion, I might not agree with it, but he's allowed to have his own opinion, instead of doing that, they just started campaigns against me. And apparently what everybody thinks is going to be fun tonight is to go on to this stream and just type gay over and over and over again. So have fun with that. And that's what I was talking about. That's what's happening with this. When you express an opinion that people don't like, they do this with the gay and all of that. And see, these are accounts with no avatar. I'm pointing to the comments as if you can see them. These are accounts with no avatars, which means it's just probably some jerk that is created an account specifically to do this. So enjoy yourself. I hope you have a good time with that. So let's see. Okay, I finally got it. Jeez. Here is, finally got the chat where I can take this off. Pardon my finger. There we go. Let's see. All right, now we got this on here. Good. There we go. All right, so I see Paul Martin is already hard at work for me. Paul, I don't know what I would have done without you. So, okay. Let's see. What does sodomy? Really? This is the internet, folks. This is what happens. And this is, again, because of expressing an opinion. This is what happens. So, anyway, not to fuel that anymore, let me get on to the next thing that I wanted to talk about tonight. I'm not going to talk about that because it was just silly. I want to do something here real quick. I want to do a test. I'm going to do a test of something, and if it works, we're going to do something fun tonight. And I think everyone who's in here is going to like it. But I have to test it first, and if it works, it's going to be a good thing. So again, bear with me. Let me find this here. Okay, there we go. I don't know if this works on live streams, but if it does, that's going to be a good thing. Don't go away yet, folks. Bear with me. It's not working. Well, I didn't know if it would or not. What I was checking on was a randomizer for live streams. Basically what I mean is I can randomly select a comment for maybe a giveaway. And I should probably address that too, because the people that are in here trolling tonight, I hope they're enjoying themselves. One of the things that got everybody bent out of shape was that I was talking about how contests are stupid. I talked about contests being stupid from a trying to grow a YouTube channel standpoint. And people just got overly upset about that, especially when the next day people probably thought I was some kind of cocky jerk. I did a video, and in that video I announced a giveaway. And so they're like, oh my God, how can you do that? How can you talk about that the night before and then do a giveaway the next day? Well, there's a big difference between a giveaway and a contest. Okay, when I'm talking about a contest, I'm talking about, hey, you have to submit a video, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to, whatever. Those, they don't work. I mean, you don't have to believe me, you don't have to agree with me, but they don't work. And people just don't like to hear opinions that are different than theirs. I was not talking about giveaways. I mean, come on. If a company sends me a product that I'm not going to use anymore, then why not give it away? I mean, because there might be somebody that will use it like crazy. They don't send me these products to give away. They send them to me to review and to use, and if I keep them, I keep them. If I give them away, whatever. They don't really care once I've done what I said I was going to do. But giving away something is different than making people do a contest and all of that kind of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, and maybe it was the fact that I said contests are stupid, being that blunt about it. Maybe that's what upset everybody. And I mean, that's just the way I talk. That's the way I am. So maybe I should have just said contests don't work. They don't drive the kind of traffic that people think they want it to do. So, okay. That apparently is not going to work. So I guess maybe throughout this stream I will possibly think of a different way of doing it, because I think it'll be fun. Let me refresh this. Now, next thing, since that was a complete disaster, I've got fish coming in tomorrow. I'm excited about it. It is not a look at this. Look at what these people are doing. Are you enjoying yourselves? I mean, really? This is a shame. This is what the internet is, folks. So on Tuesday's Facebook stream, I talked about, somebody asked me what my favorite cichlids are and all of this kind of stuff, and I let them know the trout is one of those cichlids that I've wanted forever. I've never really gotten a male. Every single trout that I've gotten has been, ended up being female. And well, my friend James Largo heard that. If you're not familiar with James Largo, he is the owner of the Cichlid Shack, a website. He's got his own setup, kind of like Lisa and I used to have in our garage. He's got a very similar deal going on with his setup, and he has a website and all of this kind of stuff. He's doing great things out there. He's doing what Lisa and I should have done. And instead we decided to take it a step further when we probably shouldn't have. So anyway, if you're not familiar with the Cichlid Shack, then you should check it out. The Cichlid Shack is not a sponsor of this channel, or I'm not affiliated with them. Largo's just a friend of mine. He's a guy that I've gotten to know over the last few years, and I've gotten to know him well, and he's a good dude. And so he reached out to me and he says, hey, I've got trouts. And so we went back and forth, and he's not sending me these fish for free. I'm buying them, and rightly should. And so that's what's happening. Tomorrow, they're already in transit right now, on their way here to me. They're going to be here tomorrow. I might do a live stream of the unboxing of those on Facebook. I'm going to probably ask him first if he's okay with that, because with those, you never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I mean, things happen. catastrophe strikes sometimes. When that happens, if you're doing it live, it's like, you know, you don't want to make somebody look bad. So there we go. All right. So do you want to know the fish that are coming in? That would probably be important, right? I don't remember all of them. I've got a trout male. I think he said it's 4 to 5 inches. I've got a blue dolphin, a morii, which I'm so excited about. It's one of my absolute favorites, and I haven't had one in a while. Since my 150 crashed, I haven't had one of those. So there's that, and then there's a third one. I don't remember what it is. Blue orchid, maybe? A blue orchid. Yep, a blue orchid male. And then the last one is a special fish that he's sending that he wants me to see. So there we go. My trout is showing blue at 7 inches. See, that's nice. I mean, I never got one that far. Every single one that I did, every single one that I got turned out to be female. So what are you going to do? How did all your plants die? My plants didn't all die. I don't know where that came from. I've got a couple that aren't doing all that great, but they didn't all die, so must be another one of those guys. All right, so now I have officially announced everything that I wanted to announce. I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. So now it's time to get into questions from you. If you get the, here we go with more. So what we basically have here, folks, it's quite obvious. There's either a group of people or one person that is literally got no life, and they have created a bunch of different accounts, and they're coming in here to type the word gay. They think that that's funny. They think that that's going to be something that's going to make me lose sleep and make me say, no, please don't do this to me anymore. I mean, come on. Because I have a different opinion than you? Come on. There we go. But that's what's happening. Largo's giving you Skittles. I'm not getting Skittles from him. I'll be disappointed if I open it up and there's Skittles in there. All right, so let me go back here and go through some of these questions. How's the guppy tank? It's doing great. It's very full of algae right now, though, so I'm not going to be showing you that. Let's see the reef. It's not a reef. It's clearing up, but it's still not worthy of showing yet. The diatom algae is dying off, which is really, really good. I got another fish in there, and it was the one that everybody told me not to get. I got a blue damsel in there, and he's just absolutely adorable. He, she, I don't know. So there's 3 fish in there now, and they're doing great. You know, and I have not put any corals in there, and I won't yet. Skittles the OB. Oh, I get it. Okay. How often do you feed your fish? Once a day or multiple times a day? I feed them twice a day. The discus are 3 times a day, and that tank is once a day because they're old and fat and don't need to be fed more than that. Already addressed the reef. How do you maintain all of your tanks? It's very simple down here because I've got a drain in the floor and I've got a water supply in the ceiling in the back of the garage, back of the basement. So I have a garden hose that comes from that, it's a spigot, I guess that's what we call them here in Virginia, is a spigot up in the ceiling. Garden hose comes down. That's how I refill everything. Draining it is actually quite simple. It is, I use a regular siphon hose. It's actually the siphon hose or the hose and the end from one of the Aquarium water changing systems that you would hook to your sink, but I don't have it hooked to my sink. I just have it going straight down into the floor. So I go through and siphon all of them, drain them all out, and then come through and refill them, and I put my deodorizer in. Deodorizer? Really? Water conditioner in while I'm refilling them. So there you go. That's how I do it. How's the wood you bought for the discus tank going, the fake wood, I mean? There's no fake wood in the discus tank. That is all real. That is the fake wood there, and it's going great, but it's not in the discus tank. Let's see. Normal guy 1, 2, 3 needs a punch in the mouth. Okay. How do you feel about giving feeder fish to your cichlids? I don't do it because why? I mean, it's well known that feeder fish are not a good source of nutrition. I don't care what they do in the wild. I don't think you have Oscars and red devils swimming around the Amazon looking for goldfish to eat. I don't look at feeder fish as a good source of nutrition for the fish. I look at them actually as a potential source of a lot of other things, but not nutrition. And so I don't do it. I mean, because there's too many things about those feeders that you don't know about. They're raised in horrible conditions. And on top of that, it's just mean. It's mean. I mean, I don't get entertained by watching feeder fish get eaten. Now, Jose, I don't know the answer to that question. It might be kind of reversed because of the fact that I'm doing this on my phone. I don't know, but it's possible that that's going on. What do you think about clown loaches in with African cichlids? I have seen a lot of people do it. I have not done it myself, but that doesn't mean anything. I just haven't done it. So I've seen it though. I have 2 clown loaches upstairs. They're in with some community fish and stuff like that. And they're fine, you know, but they, before I got them, were in a tank with a bunch of African cichlids, and they were fine. Working in the fish room and dancing between changing water and the live stream. Let's see if I can keep from flooding. Now, Corey, are you literally dancing, or do you mean that figuratively? You're dancing back and forth? Because if you're dancing, we got to get that on camera. John, is there a site that I can find pictures and info on Mbuna and peacocks? Yeah, there's a lot. My favorite, I mean, if you're just wanting to know what the different fish look like, what is that site? There's a really good site that I used to go on all the time, and I gotta find it. I got it bookmarked. Yeah, cichlid-forum.com. That's it, cichlid-forum.com. There is a species library, there's species profiles, there's all of that. That is a great website. Or you can do what I've done a lot of times and just go to different vendor sites like Live Fish Direct, Cichlid Shack, and they will have a small description of the fish, talk about their water parameters that they like and stuff like that. But that's what I did. If there's a fish that you're unsure of, just put it into Google. But if you really do want to go to a specific site, cichlid-forum.com is a great one. Somebody that's been there maybe put the link in the comment. I don't know. You might not be able to put links in here. See, here it goes again. I use filter for the fish bowl. All right. Blue rams, how can you tell different sex? That is probably a question for Scuba Steve that's in the chat. He knows a lot more about rams than I do. Sexing rams, that is not something that I would consider myself knowledgeable on at all. I know it's easy. I know it's easy. It has to do with the fins and stuff like that, but do you ever feed your fish vegetables like peas or cucumbers? Yes. We have put cucumbers, Lisa has put cucumbers in there a couple times, and the fish go after it and all of that. But with it being a mixed tank, you're putting it in there for the Mbunas, but then the other fish end up eating a bunch of it and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, you're wanting the Mbunas to have it, and everybody else ends up stealing it from them. So everybody's excited to see Corey in the house. What's a good way to make a beta more active? He's in a 5-gallon tank with a filter, and the tank is 74 to 76 degrees. There really isn't anything. I mean, betas are not the most active fish in the world anyway. They just kind of sit there and look pretty. It's not like you can put toys in there for them or anything like that, you know what I mean? So there's really not a whole lot you can do. I mean, I've known people to have betas for 5-6 years and they never move. They've got to touch them every single morning because they think that they're dead. Would you consider changing the blue in the African tank? Nope, because I love it. I was cleaning filters. Oh God, I hate when this does this. I was filling the tank and it overflowed. Oh man, you overflowed your tank. John, tell me, what should I put in a fish bowl? What kind of fish, please? Fish bowls, I mean, betas. That's what you should put in there. No frog tonight. The frog's been gone, and I'll tell you what I did. And maybe this made a difference because the frog has not been back since then. If you've only seen these live streams on YouTube, you would not be aware of what we're talking about. On my Facebook live stream, we've had a visiting frog right outside my basement door that just harasses us through the entire live streams. So that's why he's asking about them. I had because this guy right here is an idiot. I had a 75-gallon tank sitting right outside the door of my garage, and it was sitting upright. And so every time it would rain, there would get water in there, and the frogs would go absolutely nuts. I was not trying to keep frogs in there. But I ended up moving the tank and getting all the water out of there. So the frogs don't have anywhere to go anymore. So that's probably why we're not hearing anything from them. Who is the boss in the 240? You know what? I don't really have one. There's the Insignis, which is right there. He's kind of the boss. The large Livingstone Eye. I've got 2 Livingstone Eye in there. The large one is definitely. I think he's kind of keeping everybody in line, but he's not overly aggressive himself, so it just kind of keeps everybody nice. But I don't have any particular fish that's in that tank that is harassing all the other fish. I don't have that. Do you have a favorite tank size? That is a great question. It's going to depend on what you're putting the tank in. If you're getting a tank for your living room, again, it's going to depend on your taste. How big is your living room? One of my favorite in-home aquariums, like you can only have one tank, and you really want it to be a focal piece. You want it to be like something that really makes a statement. I love 150 gallons. And I'm talking about the ones that are, I believe they're 18 inches deep, like 29 inches high, and 6 feet long. So, somewhere around those. Like my old one that I had, which is actually sitting right behind you. You just can't see it. It's empty. I love that tank because it's tall enough and long enough to where you can do so many different things with it. There's a lot of fish that you can fit in there without torturing them, you know what I mean? And I just think it looks good. It looks like a giant movie screen because of the size of the front panel on it. So I love the 150 gallon, and I'm pretty sure it's like a standard 150 size, 6 foot long 150. That's a really big one, and you know, a lot of people can't fit that into their house. I understand that, but that's my favorite one. If you can't go that big, if you want to stay smaller, then I mean, a 55 is kind of one of the most versatile aquariums you can have. Or if you want to go a little bit bigger, a 75, absolutely, those are nice. 4 feet long, fits in most rooms. There's a lot of different types of fish you can put in there, a lot of things you can do with it. 55 is great. Don't smoke. I'm not smoking. Thank you, G Bear. It's vape, no smoke. Thank you. What are some peacocks / haps I can keep with 2 frontosas, borlei, and a venustus? I'm getting a 125, 120 gallon in September. Please help. Sky's the limit, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I've got like 14 different types of peacock in here. I've got like 9 or 10 different haps in here with a frontosa. So, I mean, any of them, really. I mean, that would be my advice. Peacocks and haps, there's going to be a lot of people that would tell you you can't mix those because one's from Lake Malawi, or one group is from Lake Malawi, and the frontosas are from Lake Tanganyika. That's garbage. You absolutely can mix them, and there's your proof. There's the frontosa right there. I've done it for 20 years and never had any issues. These are all tank-raised fish, and they're all raised in the same water parameters, so it's crazy to think that you can't mix them, and they go fine. They go fine with Tanganyikans, Malawans. Now, there are some Tanganyikan fish that I would not mix with Malawans, not because the water parameters are different, but because they would just get harassed and eaten. The smaller shell dwellers and things like that, but for the most part, you can do it, and it's not a problem. I mean, and you've already got a borlei and a venustus. You already got some haps in there, so you kind of know that already. How many Africans can I put in a 90-gallon? Watch my video on that. I'm not going to go through all of that right now. I'm not being a jerk either, but it's just too much to talk about, and that's a question that I don't usually answer. We missed the frog. See, my comments are skipping around again. Daggone it. There is the link to the cichlid shack. KG Cichlids is in here. Do you know the sex of your Oscar? No, I do not. And I've only had him for 7 years. That's a shame, right? Tyler, I have 12 in a 90-gallon that were okay. Somebody's helping him out. That's cool. I have a Bishar eel in there too. Okay. Has any one fish ever kick-started your channel? Has any one fish ever kick-started your channel? Not quite sure I follow that question, James. Clarify that a little bit for me if you don't mind. If I may ask you, closed up shop and don't sell online and no shop, do you still do something involving fish without being totally nosy? How dare you be so nosy, Hank? No, I mean, what I do right now is what I'm doing right now. We have a website which is mainly for informational purposes. You can go on there, watch all of our videos. You can listen to the podcast. I think you can still listen to the podcast on there. I've got a bunch of links to a lot of my favorite products on there. And I create content for you. That's what I do. Is that going to change? Yes, it is. But it's not going to be fish. I mean, the fish business, what Corey McElroy is doing and what James Largo's doing and so many other YouTubers out there that are doing it, and what we did back then, it is a lot more work than you think, and it's a lot more expensive than you think. And if you were to do it for just one day, you would totally understand why a lot of these shops charge the amount that they do for their fish. It gets pretty out of control. Use a mirror behind the tank of the beta. That's a great... See, this is why I love this community, because Eric is just helping that guy out with his beta question. All right, so my good friend Paul Martin, I'm gonna skip through here real quick. My good friend Paul Martin has sent me a couple of really good questions via Facebook. They are questions that are put in by you in this stream, but he's forwarding them to me on Facebook. What's the best bottom dweller to possibly deal with snails? The undisputed king of dealing with snails is clown loaches, like we talked about earlier. They just feast on snails. Now, clown loaches have a pretty small mouth, so they need to get them when the snails are small. But yeah, they are fantastic for clearing out snails. I told you earlier, I have 2 clown loaches upstairs. The whole reason why they're in there is because we did have a snail outbreak in that tank, and put those clown loaches in there. The snails were very small, and the clown loaches are about 6 inches long, and literally within 24 hours there was not a snail to be seen in that tank. So yeah, clown loaches for sure. They are great at that. And then you clearing them out yourself. I know that sucks, and that is that's a horrible thing to have to do because it's gross, and but hey, you got to do what you got to do. Can guppies and betas go together? I've seen it done before. You put betas in plural. Most people do not put more than one beta together. That is why they're called Japanese fighting fish, or what do they call them? Siamese fighting fish, or whatever it is. I have seen betas mixed with a lot of different types of fish, usually one beta with other community type fish, and it's worked. Would I do it? Probably not. But I've seen it done. These two, oh, he was just saying something to me. Okay. We missed the frog. Why do you miss the frog? I mean, isn't it annoying? It annoys me because, look, I'm down here all the time, and I hear that frog, and he's right there, and it just drives me absolutely insane. What is a good way to take care of a pest snail problem? Well, there it is, Tim. We just talked about that, and it's the same person that asked that question. That's our tank mascot. Tank Talk mascot. Who is the Oscar or the frog? Yeah, the frog. Sorry about that. I mean, I can go outside and see if I can find him and then bring him in. You know, it's up to you. Where's the best place to buy live plants? I'm not going to tell you anything other than Aquarium Co-op, of course, because Corey's my friend. He sent me a bunch of plants, and they're doing well. Most of them are doing well. The ones that are not doing well is not the plant's fault. It's this guy's fault right here. Something's going on in that tank. I'm very confident that things are settled now and it's going to be fine, but I don't know what happened in there. I'm not going to talk about it though, because sell me the 150. Hey, you want to come and get it? William Feltner, you live in the U.S.? For some reason, I mean, I see your name all the time. You're a very big supporter of me and what I do, and I thank you for that. But for something tells me you're from overseas. But in all honesty, you don't want to buy my 150 because I'm going to go ahead and guess you don't live down the street from me. So getting it from me to you would not be easy to do, and it would probably cost you as much as it would cost you to just go buy one off Craigslist. The other reason, I'll tell you a funny story. I think I've told this in other live streams before, but that 150, it's a 6-foot tank, and it has the one crossbar that is in the center of the tank on the lid, the plastic crossbar. Well, I built this very beautiful 3D background. This was 7 or 8 years ago. It was a long time ago when I did this. I built it, and I spent all this time building this styrofoam mold, and then I put the concrete over top of it, and I painted it, and I did little carvings in it. John loves Lisa, stupid stuff, you know. But it was fun. I mean, it was supposed to resemble Texas Holy Rock, and it was nice. I mean, I enjoyed making it. I put it in the tank. The tank was, you know, dry. It was setting up the tank, not new, but empty. Siliconed it all in and put it in the tank, and I had it in that tank for probably 7 or 8 months. And I don't know how I timed this right, but I was standing in front of the tank, just standing there like this, just looking in the tank, watching the fish swim around, and that styrofoam background piece that I built just exploded out of the top of the tank. I didn't melt the styrofoam off because I'm an idiot. I mean, I'm a self-admitted idiot. I didn't realize that you were supposed to do that. That you were supposed to get rid of all of the styrofoam. So basically this thing was in my tank, and it was like a raft, and it was just constantly wanting to come up and float, and I had it silicone down, so it took about 7 months to work its way free of that silicone and shot straight out of the top of the tank. Well, anyway, long story short, it broke that center post. So I've got a wood clamp on it right now. If you look at some of my older videos where I showed that 150, you can see a box about that big sitting in the center of the top of edge of the tank, and that's a wood clamp that is holding the tank together from bowing out. So you wouldn't want to buy that tank, and that's really why I haven't used it anymore anyway. What's the minimum tank size for a single Pseudotropheus demasoni? Also, if you will, how would you go about sanitizing rocks for an aquarium? 2 questions in one. I like it. I don't believe in putting African cichlids in anything under, I mean, unless you're breeding them, I wouldn't want to see you put them in anything under like a 40-gallon breeder or a 55-gallon. Bigger is always better. I know demasoni are small. I've got one in there. It's the smallest fish in the tank. One of the kids named the fish Small Fishy. But they stay relatively small, but I still want to give these fish as big a tank as possible. If you're going to breed them, you can do it in something like a 29-gallon or something like that. I've done it before. It works. It works well. Breeders always use smaller tanks. That's why you see discus in 20-gallon highs and stuff like that, because it keeps the fish focused in one central area, and they can focus on what they're doing rather than swimming around and exploring. I understand that, but unless you're doing this specifically to breed them, there's no reason to do that. So put them in something larger, and you'll be all right. I always tell people, if you're going to keep African cichlids, don't put them in anything under a 55-gallon. And even a 55-gallon is kind of small if you think about it. In Bunas, okay, but when you get into peacocks and haps, some of the haps get giant. I wouldn't go below a 55. That's just this guy's opinion right here. I know I've gotten in trouble recently for expressing opinions, but, you know, it's the world we live in. All the way from Spain. Cool, nice. And there we go, skipping again. I forgot how much I despise the way this thing works. Okay, I'm going to do it this way. Let me see. I'm going to do it on the computer rather than the little pop-out window. Oh, you're in Kentucky, William Feltner. Okay, that's not that far. Have no fear, underdog is here. Look at this guy. Don't put a blue paradise with your beta, they will fight. All right. Good advice. What's your favorite fish food to feed? We'll talk about that later. Everybody, IFG comes in and everybody goes nuts. Everybody's saying hi to IFG. There is so much filter media on the market, but what is your favorite biological media? I've been using Purigen in there. I like it. It's definitely good. As far as biological media, if you're talking about things like bio balls and the ceramic discs and things like that, I have not found one to be bad, if I'm being honest with you. The ceramic discs that come with a lot of canister filters have always worked well for me. I've always used the ones that came with the filter, and they've always worked fine. I mean, I guess some of them don't come with those, but you know what I'm saying. Those have always worked fine for me. I've also used bio balls, which for a long time, bio balls were the epitome of, you know, the growth of beneficial bacteria. You had to have bio balls. Bio balls were everywhere. You don't see them as much anymore. There's a lot of, what is that stuff called? K1 coldness. There's a lot of like floating filter bed medias and all that kind of stuff. If you want to get into some of those fancier filtration systems, I haven't gone into those type systems. Not because I don't like them, but because I just haven't. In the 240, I've got, I'm going to show you in a video very soon, actually. I've got ceramic balls instead of, nobody isolate that, a video of John saying, I've got ceramic balls. But instead of the discs or the little donuts, they are balls, just little balls. They're about the size of, I don't know, a ball, a small ball. Just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them in there. I've got them in the 5 trays. That's what I've been using in there. That's what came with it. It came with a huge bucket of them, and it's been working out really well for me. Corey is getting the discus itch. I gotta stop watching your videos. Have a quick question. Just got a second-hand 300 liter, sorry, not good with imperial measurements, that has been drilled in the bottom. So thinking about setting up a sump, any sort of recommendation on setup? Tom, there is a lot of things that you can do as far as setting up a sump. I would definitely recommend watching some of Joey's videos, because that's how I learned how to build my first sump, was a video that Joey did in like 2007 or something. He's got a lot of videos on that. I actually didn't watch his video to learn how to make the sump. I watched his video to make a DIY overflow out of PVC, which worked really, really well. But Joey's got a lot of videos on that. I have not done any videos on building a sump. I've not really explored the DIY thing because that's Joey's thing. And you know, if I do a DIY series, it's going to look like I'm copying Joey. Joey's a good person to copy, but I'm not going to do that. So, you know, the sumps that I have built myself, I've always made them out of empty aquariums. I haven't used, you know, the big Rubbermaid tubs and things like that. I've always just used empty tanks. My 240 at my shop, I had a 55-gallon tank that I used for a sump, and I put small containers in there with holes drilled through the bottom to hold my biomedia and stuff like that. Very easy to do, very cheap. You can pick up a tank if you've got a thrift store around you. We bought the tank that I used for my sump for $5 at a thrift store. So that's one of the easiest ways to do it. But Joey's even got videos on how to make sumps out of 5-gallon buckets. I mean, there's a lot of different ways of doing it. How many tanks do I have in my house? I assume you're talking to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, but one of them's a turtle tank, only has about that much water in it. 2 of them have no water in it at all. And one of them is a little teeny 5-gallon guppy tank. So And then the saltwater tank. Really, what I'm running right now, 8. I've got 8 tanks that I'm running right now. But these are the 3 that matter. What about Mighty Mouse IFG? Okay, Mighty Mouse. Everybody talking about Mighty Mouse. I like that. I just introduced a leopard with a green serum and an Oscar. Cool. IFG for 12-foot tank. Joey DIY got new fish, goldfish. Nice. Will a Mbuna hybridize with a clown loach, or are they safe to house together? Are you being a rascal? Are you being funny? I'd still buy it. No, William, you're not going to come to Virginia to pick up a beat-up, old, broken 150-gallon tank. You're not going to do it. That tank has been through a lot, I'm telling you. There's that episode that I had where I was dumb and I just didn't do a good job making a background. This is before I was teamed up with Universal Rocks. And then there was an issue before that when we first bought it. Lisa's son and I were trying to pick it up onto, a rack, and he went down. And when he went down on the ground, the corner of the tank hit the ground. It didn't break the tank. It chipped the glass a little bit. It broke the plastic frame, but it didn't break the tank. Tank still held water. Everything was okay, and he didn't get hurt in the incident. But the other end of the tank, not my end, but he's holding one corner and the other corner, went straight into a 20-gallon tank that was full of water and had 2 jewel cichlids in it. They were in there temporarily, and the jewel cichlids ended up swimming all the way across the room, and I had to pick them up, and it was a huge disaster. But yeah, that tank's been through a lot. You don't want that thing, William. Can you breed angelfish in a 20-gallon long? It's not ideal. I wouldn't do it. There we go again. This thing, the comments skip around, and it's so frustrating. What's the missed video we can put in a can use a hospital tank? Can you give me your thoughts on porate filter foam and a sump, if you're familiar with that? I am not familiar with porate filter foam. Sorry. Canada. In that house. What do you think about Joey's 45 fancy goldfish? I have not seen that. I'm not current on Joey's videos, so I haven't seen that yet. But I'm gonna go watch it right after this because I'd like to see Joey's goldfish tank. That sounds cool. That sounds like something completely away from things that he's done in the past. You know what I mean? To go from what he's been doing to goldfish, I think that's really cool. That's fun. Had to separate my small ACI since he was bullying my large Oscar. When can I reunite them, or will the Oscar always get picked on? See, that's just another person being funny. I'm going to ignore that question because I'm assuming you're just being one of those people. I think I have a brother and sister Oscars pair. Should I separate them? What's happening here? What DIY project are yours are the most proud of? DIY projects of mine? They don't have anything to do with fish. I've built a lot of furniture in my house, and those would be my favorites. I'm a woodworker. I'm a cabinet maker. I was a cabinet maker professionally for about 7 years, and so yeah, they're not fish stuff. They're furniture in my house, big cabinets and things like that. Is it possible to fully eradicated protozoa that live in intestinal tract of South American cichlids? Scuba Steve, you are hitting it hard tonight. Wow. You know what? That's a question for Corey because he's smarter about that stuff than I am. I am not the best when it comes to solving health issues with fish. That's Lisa's territory. She is upstairs. So that's not a question for me, Scuba Steve. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I still want to be a member of the Scuba Squad, but that's not going to be something that I'm going to be able to help out, really. Can you put Oscars and red ear slider turtles in the same tank? I'm not a turtle expert. The turtle that we have, it literally came out of a lake in our neighborhood. but I don't think so, because the turtles need to come out of the water, don't they, to bask and all that kind of stuff? Maybe sliders don't. I don't know. Stump looks amazing, John. Right on. Thank you. I love that thing. I am absolutely crazy about it. I have 12 tanks running. Look at you. William Feltner is a gangsta. What tips would you give to someone setting up a fish room? Ooh. Wow, we could go for the rest of the show on this. Oh, man. Okay, so let me get my bearings straight here. You're starting from scratch. Starting a fish room, one of the first things, before you move a single tank in there, one of the first things that I want you to think about is moisture. Moisture on the floor, moisture on the ceiling. Is it an unfinished basement like this one? You can see what I did. When we had a bunch of tanks down here, I put plastic on the ceiling. It's very cheap. It's easy to do. The reason why you would do that is to save the ceiling, the floor joists, which are for the first floor. You're going to save those from being exposed to all that moisture. Very simple to do. I mean, we bought it in a roll and it cost like 20 bucks, I think, and stapled it up there. No big deal. Moisture control is huge. And then, of course, things like access to water and power. If that room that you're going to make into a fish room has one plug in it, you're going to want to call your friend that's an electrician. That's exactly what I did. You see that well, no, let me point to it here. You see that plug right there. I've got 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I got 4 of those put in the ceiling. Buddy of mine is a certified electrician. It's what he does for a living. He came over here, put those in for me. They're just up there temporarily. We're going to take them down when we move, but they were there because we had all of our tanks in here. We had like 100 tanks in this room when we were still selling fish. So we had those there to power the lights and everything that were on the... well, I'm looking at myself on the thing now. Oh, yeah, it is there. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm in a bunch of different places at one time. So those are just there temporarily, but power is a big issue. I mean, you can absolutely overload. If you've only got a couple of plugs in the room, you're going to definitely want to think about adding some more. So getting the room ready before you even bring a single tank in there, making these preparations, making these plans is one of the most critical things that you're going to do. The next thing to consider is how you're going to facilitate the fish room. What I mean by that is, are you going to heat each individual tank, which can get very expensive, or are you going to heat that room and have the room heat your aquariums? That's what we did in our shop. And it was miserable because we had to keep the shop at like 86 degrees and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare on our gas bill too. So you have to think about those kind of things. If you're doing a room that has 12 tanks in it, you can buy 12 heaters and you'll be fine. It's not going to be a big deal. But if you're setting up 150 tanks, if you're putting up a fish room like Largo's or Chicagoland cichlids, what is it? I'm sorry. I know him as SOA, but what is it? JM Chicagoland cichlids? Somebody help me out here. If you're going to set up something like those guys have, then you're going to want to, figure out some kind of centralized heating for that, because that's going to be a lot of heaters, and you're going to have to keep track of if they break down. I mean, heaters break. You know what happens. So it's definitely one of those things that you're going to want to think about. And again, these are all things that you should think about before you ever even bring a single fish tank into the room. And then the next thing is your racking system, how you're going to organize the tanks and all that kind of stuff. What else really is there to think about? I mean, that's pretty much it. You can save yourself a lot of headaches. You can save yourself a lot of time and a lot of frustrations by making these plans up front. Think about, how are you going to filter your tanks? Are you going to do it through sponge filters, hang on the back filters, a centralized recirculating system? How are you going to provide air to the tanks? Make all of those decisions before you ever spend a dime. That's the best advice that I could give anybody. Have a fully detailed plan, know what you're going to do going ahead, way before you do it, and then fire away. It's fun. Building a fish room is fun. How big is your discus tank? It's 125 gallons. Oh, this frustrates me so much. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm sitting here just staring, but I'm trying to go through these comments here. Are you going to see Suicide Squad? Is the Pope Catholic? I mean, seriously, yes. This weekend, I'll be seeing it. I don't care what the critics say. It's really cool, John. The goldfish tank. Okay, cool. Love the all caps, too, by the way. IFG is on his phone. That's why it looks better. Yeah. IFG just actually sent me that on a private message, too. What am I using? It looks better. It's the Wirecast Go app on your phone. It costs like $5. I love that we got to vote. I was serious. John loves caps. It's badass goldfish on Joey. I'm going to check out Joey's goldfish tank for sure. That sounds like fun. Just getting back into the hobby. You wouldn't believe all the changes, hybrids and stuff that was cheap is now expensive and vice versa. Yeah, G-Bear, that is absolutely true. I did have a hiatus myself back in the early 2000s. I had a few years there where I didn't have any tanks, and it was, yeah, just being gone for a few years, you come back and it's like, whoa. It's surprising how much everything changes. The night mode on YouTube Gaming is pretty cool. Wonder if it's because he's doing it from his phone tonight. Yeah, I don't know how far behind I am on these comments, Corey, but yeah, I'm doing it on my phone tonight. Since I don't have any guests, why not? Why not do it on my phone? It just because it looks better. I don't know if it's reversed. It's the same on my phone as it is on my computer screen, but I've actually, last time I did it on my phone, people were saying the same thing, that it's reversed from the normal angle that they usually see. I don't know. I don't know if that's what's happening or not. Have you ever built a custom aquarium stand with ornate trim and doors? No, but that's something I've always wanted to do, and then I had one sent to me that way, so I haven't done that. But somebody posted a picture of a stand that they had just built on the Tank Talk Facebook group. Wow, it was absolutely gorgeous. It was like cherry with raised panel doors. Beautiful. Just kidding. I'll stop. Love you guys. Don't know what that's all about. Got the job done. Good. Somebody please give me the name of the app. I'm sorry, IFG. I just said it a second ago, and I know I'm very far behind. It is the Wirecast Go app. It costs $5. It's on the App Store. I have a 55-gallon coral tank and a 100-gallon with a something tiger and snowflake eel, 3 fuzzy lionfish, a porcupine puffer. What? Okay. I had 9 fish died from a swim bladder syndrome. My tank's empty and I want to add new fish. What should I do? Get that water straight before you add them. For me, it's just an option above chat. Switch to YouTube Gaming Night Mode. What does that do, Corey? What does the Gaming Night Mode do? Because I see it right here. Switch to Night Mode in YouTube Gaming. All right, I'll do it. Why not? So it makes everything dark? That's pretty cool looking, actually. Did you do the woodwork in the tank behind you? No, that was sent to me exactly the way you see it from customaquariums.com. I did not do any of the work on that. They did it, and they did a wonderful job. I've got a couple of videos on that that you can check out, and you can see. All right, so I went back a little bit too far. A podcast on starting a fish room, maybe store. I did that. Cichlid Guy 915. I did a podcast episode on starting a fish room. So check that out. It's on iTunes. It's everywhere. And who knows? If Tank Talk comes back, maybe that is a topic we will talk about then. Who knows? I love talking about setting up fish rooms. It's a lot of fun. There's another fish keeping podcast that I would definitely recommend any fish keepers listen to. And it is called the Bailey Brothers. It's called Pet Fish Talk. And it was done by a couple of brothers, the Bailey Brothers, Tom and Nevin Bailey. They're some of the legends of fish keeping. If you search them on iTunes or Stitcher or any of your other apps, you can find them. Very easy to find, or you can just go to their website. They did an episode all about that, and they go into very good detail. So if you're interested in setting up a fish room, that's what I would do. Do you like root beer? Yeah, I do. I have a legit question. My fluorescent light broke and leaked in my tank. I gave 100% water change 2 times. I lost 4 fish. Are the rest of my fish bio and sand contaminated? Please answer. I despise when people say please answer. It's one of my pet peeves. I don't know what's in those light bulbs. That white stuff. I would not be comfortable with that. I think you did the right thing by immediately starting to cycle that water out and all that kind of stuff. But I think you might be in for a chore with that. But I don't know what's in there. It might be talcum powder that's in there, which would be pretty much harmless, I would think. I don't know. But yeah, I would definitely be a little bit worried. JM's Chicago Land Cichlids. Thank you, Largo. Yeah, I'm way behind. Damn, Randy, that sucks. How soon did you lose the okay, between 2 days. Let's see, Hank Schmidt, John, because of you, I am starting a fish room with 9 tanks. Learned so much from you and your great videos. Thank you. That on a day like this, after we experienced what we did in the beginning, that is a beautiful thing to hear, Hank. Thank you so much. And thank you, Paul, for sending that to me, because you knew it would brighten my day a little bit. That was very nice of you. Are you a vape lord? Yes, I am. Have you ever used the steel stands that can double stack 125s? I have one, thinking about using it. I have not used that, but I got one made out of wood right there. I eat fish. Good for you. I don't. Not because I think it's mean, but because I think it tastes gross. But it's been a week, so no others died. Okay, that's good news there, Daily Randy. If it's been a week, I would say you're probably in the clear. I think you did the right thing up front with, immediately reacting to that situation. Good job. I mean, it's unfortunate that you lost 4 fish. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't relax yet, because you don't know what kind of chemicals those are that are in there, and it could be a, I wouldn't relax yet. I would keep doing what you're doing. I would keep an eye on it. Maybe increase your water changes for the next couple of weeks. But it sounds like you did a good job. What is an African cichlid that you want that eludes you? The one I'm getting tomorrow. Kevin, I don't know if you were here earlier. I made the announcement that my good friend who's in the room right now, or at least he was as far back in the comments that I've gone to, James Largo has sent, it's on its way, a male trout. Champsachromis caeruleus is how I say it. That is definitely an African cichlid that has eluded me forever. I've had them, but they've always turned out to be females. And he promised me that it's going to be a male that's coming tomorrow. I'm going to get it tomorrow, and I'm going to probably, I don't know if I'm going to do a unboxing of it. For people that don't do this kind of thing that I do, you don't quite know the amount of work that's involved just in setting up a simple live stream like that. It's not like it's hard work. It's just a lot of setup, and you got to move the camera, and you got to do this, and all while having a box of fish sitting there in front of you that you really want to open and get in the tank. So I don't know if I'm going to do an unboxing, but we might. We'll see. I finally got success in my community with a peaceful beta. Cool. Wirecast Go. There we are. What was the biggest lesson you learned owning the fish shop? This is going to sound like a real jerk thing to say, Fin Time. The biggest thing that I've learned, and I guarantee you Corey would agree to this, when you sit down and you're making your plan to open up your tropical fish retail store, and you come up with a budget of everything that it's going to take to build the racks and get the lighting and get the air system and get the insulation and get the tanks and get the fish and get all of the inventory and get all of that, when you come up with that number of how much money you're going to need to set up your fish store, triple that money. Triple the amount. If it's 25 grand, don't open the doors unless you have 75 grand. Why? Because running a business like that, you have to think about, you have a bunch of fish for sale, okay? And even if you're selling large, I was selling large male peacocks that and haps and imbunas that were, almost full grown, very expensive, $50, $60 fish. And you sell, you get a $350 order and it's like, yay, that's cool. But that money's spent before you even put it in your account. I mean, because you have to buy more fish and you have to pay the electric bill and you have to pay yourself a couple dollars, and the money goes fast. So whatever money you determine you need, triple it. Because if we had done that, if we had triple that, we would still have our store to this day. But we ran out of money and we ran out of a pool to pull money from. And so when that happens, what are you going to do? It is almost impossible to get a business loan unless you have a friend or a wealthy father or something like that. KG, VC10 are a pain to net. Are they? But I mean, I'm sorry, FinTime, if that sounded like the kind of thing that you didn't want to hear, was the biggest lesson that I learned. But that definitely is it. I mean, that is the number one mistake that we made, was not having the amount of money that we needed. We had what we thought we needed, but it wasn't nearly enough. Are you and Corey still discussing the possibility of a podcast? Anything you're able to share with us? Yes, we are discussing it. No, we do not know for certain that it's something that we're going to do. Him and I both are very excited about it. We definitely want to do it. But Corey has a very busy lifestyle with his business. That's a successful business. And you see how much content he puts on the internet and everything else. I have my internet business. I have a full-time job outside of the house, 5 kids. You know what I'm saying? And Corey has a wife too. Doesn't have kids yet, but he's got a whole bunch of dogs, I think. So it's not like either one of us don't have a couple hours a week to spare, but it's when I have a couple hours to spare lining up at the same time as him having a couple hours to spare. That's the hard part. That's what we're trying to iron out right now. If we can work something like that out, I think it's going to end up happening. And I'm really excited about it. So, how often should I feed my angelfish fry? That is going to be totally up to how many water changes you want to do. The more food you put in there, the more the fish eat, the more they poop. The more they poop, the more water changes you need to do. So if you're able to do, a lot of breeders have angel fry in very small tanks, like 10-gallon tanks. It's nothing to do a water change in a 10-gallon tank. You could do a 20% water change every single day. If you're going to do that, I'd feed them 3, 4, 5 times a day if you're capable of it. But how much you feed them and how often you feed them, small meals throughout the day, they're going to grow faster. But they're also going to produce more waste. And so you have to think about those. You have to balance it. How much water you're able to take care of and how much food will fit into that. I hope that makes sense. IFG, what's good? What? Now, James Largo, why are you asking other people's questions? What? What's the best water test kit in your opinion? Strips, drops, or electrical like Senia or Reef Keeper? I know there are a lot of price points. I have, for 25 years, used the API Master Test Kit. And it's the one that I would recommend to everybody. Do the other ones work? Sure, of course they do. I think, personally, I believe the drops to be more reliable than the strips. Strips are better than nothing. But I believe that the Master Test Kit that you have to put 10 drops of this and 10 drops of that, I think that's more accurate. I have never purchased a test kit that is more advanced than that because I've always been okay with those. So there you go. Any tips for dealing with blackbeard algae other than trash the tank? That is the dreaded, it is the enemy of fish keeping, blackbeard algae. I've had blackbeard algae a few times in my years of doing this. One time no matter what I did, it absolutely would not go away. And so basically what I ended up doing is taking the tank down. I didn't throw it away. Took the tank down and just completely cleaned it, scrubbed it. I even used a diluted bleach and scrubbed it. And then I let it sit for like a month empty. And then I would fill it with water, empty it out, fill it with water, empty it out to, get rid of all of the residue and all of the leftover bleach residue and all of that crap in it. And it was a good couple of months before I actually started it back up again, and that got rid of it. But that's not what you want to hear. You want to hear what's an easy way to do it. There is no easy way to do it. I don't think that there's any, to my knowledge, Corey might know, any chemicals that can get rid of blackbeard algae that wouldn't also get rid of your fish. I don't think that those things exist. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, I've also had it where I've just thoroughly cleaned the tank like during a water change and just done that enough to get rid of it all. And then I had one where I literally I got so frustrated with it, I did take the tank down and I set it aside, and I don't think I've ever put water in it since. So I've had kind of all three scenarios, but like I said, I don't think that there is a chemical solution to blackbeard algae, but maybe Corey will chime in on that. Corey told me I could keep a Pseudotropheus demasoni in a 10-gallon, and you say at least 40 gallons. TT. Not sure what the TT means, but, Corey's basically an idiot. And, no, I'm joking. Of course I'm joking. No, I mean, you know what? We might have differing opinions. I mean, it doesn't mean, one person is a bad person, one person is more of an expert. No, none of us, I don't care what anybody says, none of us are experts here. We're all just people that keep fish, and we talk about them on videos and on live streams. So, but for me, I mean, a demasoni can get 3.5, 4 inches long, sometimes even a little bit bigger than that. It's pretty rare. They usually stay pretty small. I don't agree with putting it in a 10-gallon tank. That's just where we have differing opinions. That's why I think him and I would do really well on a podcast together, because maybe we could get at each other and just go at each other, and it would be entertaining and it would be fun. But I don't agree with putting demasoni, like full-grown adult demasoni, in a 10-gallon tank. That's kind of like putting a goldfish in a fishbowl to me. I just there it went again. There the comments skipped again. Oh my God. Folks, I don't know how to explain this other than to say, this is the mouse that I use. It is the, what's it called? The MX Master from Logitech. And this thing is a badass, especially for like video editing and stuff like that. And it's got the wheel, the scroll wheel, which is awesome. I don't know if it's the mouse or what, but as I'm scrolling through comments, sometimes it just jumps like 25 comments ahead. So anytime you see me say, oh, I did it again, that's what's happening there. And it's really, really frustrating. So, well, I'll go to this one because I like the way it starts. You're awesome, dude. When I first got into cichlids, I watched all your videos and have never stopped. Keep it up, dude. From your huge fan all the way in New Zealand. Awesome. Well, thank you, Fallen Hydra. Does that have anything to do with Marvel, Hydra, anything there? That's really cool of you. Thank you very much for that. I'm glad that I could help, and it's comments like that. I'm not encouraging everybody to do this because it would just be very weird. But it's comments like that that I get every single day that keep me doing this. Can you do a video on each tank setup for all your fish tank? Look great. Q2, do you worry much about pH for both American and African cichlids? Yeah, we always pay attention to pH, don't we? In the fish keeping hobby. I am someone that or my goal is consistency of pH rather than trying to take it up or down. I like to keep it consistent. The water out of my tap here is above neutral as far as pH goes, and it just works. It works well for everybody. And I do have the driftwood in the discus tank. I've got some driftwood in the Oscar tank. I don't have any in the African tank. Pardon me, good grief. And they all seem to do fine in it. So, as far as a video on each tank, I've kind of done that. Like, not specifically like a video titled my 125 or my Oscar tank, but I've talked about them enough in videos to where I've kind of done that. So there you go. And Paul Martin just sent me the comment that I just read from the Fallen Hydra. Thank you, Paul. Paul saw me get all teary-eyed last time he sent me one of those, and he wanted to see me do it again. Yes, I am, CJ, using Wirecast Go. I'm doing that today. I had this app when I first started live streaming, but I wasn't using it. And welcome, CJ, by the way. Glad to have you here tonight. Thank you for coming on a couple of weeks ago. That was a blast. And I got to talk to you. I hope you're still in here, because I got to tell you something that I did that you're going to be upset with me for. But I had the app a while back, but I don't use it when I have guests on, because you have to do the whole Google Hangout thing. So there you go. If I don't have any guests lined up, then I'm going to do it this way, because the quality is so much better. Don't see the Google sign in the screen anymore. Yep, CJ, there you go. You figured it out. Double your budget. See, what I'm wondering, I'm a little bit behind in the comments. I'm wondering if James Largo, who in this chat is the Cichlid Shack, I'm wondering if he said double your budget before I said what I said. That just goes to show you that both of us are saying the same thing, that you're gonna need more money than you think you're gonna need. Finding the time has been the hardest part so far. Corey's talking about the podcast. Yep, that's exactly what I said. We are all on the same page here. Love the oddball haps have a Malawi, Hawk, Diddy Comp, Bucco, Rostros. Yeah, right on, Tim Jenkins. I do too. I like the ones that are a little bit different shaped. That's why I'm so getting the Moriai and the trout tomorrow, because they're going to be the two most unique fish in that tank, except for maybe the Tropheus is a little bit different shape than everybody else, but yeah, that's really cool. Blackbeard algae, Florida flagfish, ottos, and silver flying fox. Do they take care of blackbeard algae? If so, good advice. Sorry, gotta go, but thanks for the entertainment you use on answering our questions. You are welcome, Manny. You're probably long gone by now, but hey, maybe you'll watch the replay and you'll see me say goodbye to you. And there it went. It just skipped again. Shortly after you received your bulletproof discus, they mated. Have they mated since then? And was there any successful fry? They have, and no. There was never any successful spawnings. But we had entertained the idea, and I guess this was about 5 or so months ago. We entertained the idea of putting them alone in a tank, because we've actually had several different pair up in there. But we just never did it. I mean, we haven't done it. Maybe someday we will, but I don't think, you know. But we actually had a spawning in that tank, Paul, less than a month ago. Siamese algae eaters eat blackbeard algae? That is something I did not know. Everybody's talking about hydrogen peroxide, and I feel like a jerk because I've heard that so many times. I've never done it, and I struggle with the concept of advising somebody to do something that I've never done. Not if you're doing that right now, the people that are suggesting hydrogen peroxide, I'm not calling you a bad person. I'm just saying I don't like doing that. I like to have experience. Otherwise, I'll tell you, I've heard that you can do it this way. But, you know, I like to have experience with something before I do it. And I have not tried the hydrogen peroxide trick, but I have heard that by a lot of people. Who's Jimmy? IFG. Which one's Jimmy? I don't know who Jimmy is. You got the same mouse, Ryan West, so you know what I'm talking about. This thing is wow. Especially if you're doing any kind of editing, graphic design, anything. This mouse is crazy good. But for some reason, the scroll wheel just bounces around in my comments here. It drives me crazy. It's not you, it's the comments. Maybe it is. I'm almost getting caught up. Water is getting cloudy after introducing plants to 40-gallon breeder 5 days into the cycle. That's usually an ammonia spike or an algae bloom. I'm no plant expert, Corey is, but I would think maybe algae bloom would be the most logical suspect since you put a bunch of plants in there. I'm just saying. Big fan here. I have seen all your videos too. I like the one that gives details on building a stand for the 75-gallon tank. It was very helpful. That video, thank you, George. I appreciate that. That video has had so many people thank me. So many people have emailed, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, well, you're welcome. And it means a lot that you send that kind of compliment. Thank you. But really? Because to me, it's so simple. I've done it that way for 20-something years. It never occurred to me that it would be something that would work that well for people. Like they'd never seen anything like that before. It's really cool. I'm glad it could help you, George, and I hope it's George and not Jorge. You never know these days. But one thing that I wanted to mention that I found out today, actually during this live stream, it's not like it's a big deal, but when I was looking for my video in the very beginning of this stream, I noticed that my Universal Rocks video was my 300th video. I think that's pretty cool. 300 videos. That's nuts. Doing these live streams every week on top of other videos that I've been putting up and stuff like that, it's kind of making the number go up pretty fast. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, 300 videos. Wow. Turn sensitive down on your mouse in computer settings. It's worth a shot. But I don't want it to affect how well this thing works. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I don't want it to affect how good this thing works when I'm doing my editing, though. If this is the only problem that I have with it, it's not the end of the world. Okay, there's that. Joey must have broke into your house and stole the 2 goldfish you had. Anyway, I think that's strange that they just disappeared. I'm telling y'all, I've never had that happen in my life, and I have no idea where they are, and it's really weird. About the only thing that Lisa and I could come up with is that they found a little crease, because fish will do that, and they got out of the tank somehow. One followed the other, and my cat ate them. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, what else makes sense? I mean, the kids wouldn't do anything with them. First of all, they never come down here. And to take fish out of a tank and do something with them is too much like work for them. So there's no way they would have done it. That's the only thing I can come up with, is that happened with the cat, but I don't know. Finally made it. Hello, y'all. Vaughn, hello to you. Do you like pacus? Yeah. I don't like the way they're treated by so many fish keepers, but I definitely like pacus. Let's talk movies and rock and roll like we did on Tuesday. Somebody, it was Sergio Vasquez, sent me a link to the new Corn song. Mind blown. Beautiful, beautiful song. Sounded like my Corn. Sounded like Corn of old. None of this Skrillex stuff. Even though I like that the couple songs they did with Skrillex, that sounded like Corn, and I was blown away by that. And before that, the most recent song I was really, really stuck on was So Unfair, the song that JD wrote about his son. Wow, what a song that is. But, you know, I watched my numbers go way down in that live stream when we started talking about movies and Corn and all of that kind of stuff. But I guess if enough people ask, I'll answer. I mean, hey, I've been at this an hour and a half already, so there's kind of no rules at this point, except for the trolls. Have you thought about adding more fish to the 125-gallon with the Oscar, Jack Dempsey, and Blood Parrot? Yeah, I added a fish about 2 weeks ago. Another Jack Dempsey. and he's about that big. And I got to check every day to make sure he's still there. But yeah, he's hanging in there. He's doing really well. He kind of pals around with the other Jack Dempsey. But the only reason I did that is because I needed somewhere to put him. And I love Jack Dempsey's, but that is the Oscar's retirement home. And it's his tank. If I had to, if there could only be one fish in that tank, it would be him or her. I just call him him. And but so I don't plan on adding anything to that. If the Oscar goes, then of course I will. I'll certainly add more. What are they going to be? I don't know. That's the fun about it, is just the figuring it out, what it's going to be. But I'm not going to make that decision before he goes, because that's just disrespectful to him. Fluval is going to sell a ton extra media. Kudos for them. I mean, Fluval rules. So, yeah. Hey, John, how is your plants doing? Corey and I have to talk about my plants because some of them are doing exceptionally well, and a couple of them are having problems. It's not the plant's fault. It's me. But I'm not going to talk about all that here yet because I don't know how to fix the problem yet. So, Corey and I, because Corey's in here, and he probably just heard me say that, he's going to be messaging me any second now, and he's going to be like, WTF! And we'll figure it out. Did you ever find out what happened to your two? Oh, we already talked about that. Will you ever have Joey, the king of DIY, on a live stream? Absolutely. I certainly will. The only reason I haven't done that is because, with the exception of Corey, because Corey's already done this, or already, he's been doing the live streaming longer than I have. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm going to start some type of content involving other channels. Automatically, I'm going to go to Joey first. And I know that's something that kind of bothers Joey. He doesn't like having that kind of pressure. I've known Joey for a few years now. And I know that's something that kind of bothers him. So I don't want to put that kind of pressure on him. I'm definitely going to have him on. Of course I will. I mean, because not only is Joey a good get, but he's also a friend. So absolutely, I'll have him on. All right, where were we at? Logitech products, although quite good for most applications, can cause that sort of scrolling issue on sites like YouTube. All right, well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is the mouse. It does not do it on anything else. I'm on a Mac. I'm using the most current OS 10. It just updated, I don't know, like a month ago. And it literally only does it on these live streams. So what I'm thinking it is while I'm scrolling, a new comment comes in, and so it automatically skips all the way down to the bottom. It's like a reaction by the chat feature. That's the only thing I can come up with. But I don't know. What awesome cuisine did Lisa provide you for dinner tonight? That woman, I am so lucky to have her. She is quite the cook. Tonight she made a lemon chicken with rice. It was absolutely beautiful. It was a little weird at first because it was bright yellow. And I was like, odd, but it tasted absolutely delicious. Yes, you and Joey would be a kill combo. We've done stuff before, Vaughn. We've done, I was in one of his videos briefly in Chicago. I was basically the guy that he made fun of in the video. He wanted to get his logo painted on my face. And then he was on my podcast a couple times. So yeah, we've done stuff together. Congrats on the 300 vids. Thanks, gentlemen. Frog ate them, then died. Wow. That sounds like a logical explanation there, G-Bear, but I don't think that's it because the frogs were never let inside. They're the kind of frogs, what are they, tree frogs? I don't know. They have the little suction cups on them, so they would be stuck to the window, and I could see them, and I could watch their throats go, brrr. They were right there, but they're just gone. They're not around anymore. Moths, though. Lots of moths. A PB&J sandwich. No, Lisa treats me better than that. See, there it went again. It just did it. Let me get back down here. Oh, God. Okay. Had 2 discus disappear like the goldfish. Puzzled to this day. Yeah, Tim, the only other time I've ever had that happen, as far as fish disappearing, I had a black calvus in my 240 back at my shop that disappeared. But when a tank, like if a fish was to disappear in that tank right now, I would pretty much know where it went. You know what I'm saying? Because if a fish dies in there late in the evening before I realize, and I don't realize it and I go to bed, before the next morning, it's going to be gone because all of the fish are just going to absolutely devour it. So if something like that happens in a highly populated tank like that one, it's not as big of a mystery. But when it's the only 2 fish in the tank, that's a little weird. I like the frog theory better. Blame the cat. Well, what else am I supposed to blame? I mean, I don't know. How often do you add salt to your aquarium? Not all that often, only because they don't need it. I mean, they seem to do well in my water straight out of the tap. Are there any fish species that you love that Lisa can't stand, or vice versa? Ooh. Let me have a vape and think about that. Let me put some thought into that. I don't think there are. I don't think there's any fish that I love and Lisa hates, or the other way around. I really don't. Discus are what got her into the hobby. Arowanas got her into the hobby. I really don't think that fish exists. I mean, her and I are very much on the same page when it comes to fish keeping, like what we like. She loves all these tanks. She loves the Africans. She loves all of that. I don't think there is one. Yeah, I don't think that there is. We can do an hour of fish and the rest is just fun. I would love that. I would love that because I would just love that. Hi everyone, can't stay, just saying hello. Hello Adam C, hopefully you're still here to hear that. If you don't listen to hard rock or rock, you need help. Yeah, it's very true because it is like life. By the way, hello John, did you find out where your goldfish went? Everybody wants to know about the goldfish, and there is Corey's WTF. Yep, we just skipped again. I'm telling you, the people that have given me advice on the mouse, I really do think what I said is what actually happens. I think that it is while I'm scrolling, a new comment comes in and it skips down to the bottom. There's been 761 comments so far in this stream, and so they're coming through constantly. I've got another window over here. I've got a 27-inch monitor, so I got all kinds of room. I've got a pop-up window on this side that's the chat that's current, and I see them constantly scrolling through, and so I think that's what's happening. While I'm scrolling, a new comment comes through, and somebody's trying to get me to shout out a porn star. Whatever. If you'll answer a vape question, what's a good mod for something like the TFV4/8? TFV8. You need. I mean, smoke needs a lot of wattage. Put it that way. And it's the brand Smoke, folks. The brand is called Smoke. SMOK. They need high wattages to boost to run those coils. So that's why I don't use them all that much. I love them. I love Smoke tanks, but they take too many watts. What do you treat your discus water with? I heard people using Paragard for internal parasites. I've used General Cure. I have used a new stuff that I tried. Where is it? It's like an organic stuff that seemed to work really well. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a huge parasite problem, but those are what I've done in the past. My Oscar lived to be 12. I think 5 to 10 is average. I would say more like 8 to 10, William. But that's with good husbandry. That's a fish that is well taken care of. 8 to 10 years. If you got 12 years out of one, good for you. You are doing this right. I had 4 quarter-sized ones and they died. I didn't use Paragard. Joey's channel is growing so fast and has been. I don't see anyone surpassing him in the foreseeable future. I don't either, Kevin. I think that that you have the YouTube community, and then you have Joey. He is like in another hemisphere. He's in another realm, and I think he's absolutely untouchable. Are there going to be channels that are going to come along and blow up and do really well and grow to be really big? Absolutely. But I think he's out of reach. I don't think there's going to be a channel that is going to like go viral. I think that's what everybody waits for. It's like you're going to have this one particular channel that is just going to go absolutely viral. I don't think that that's going to happen, not in this community, because the fish keeping niche is so small. And so because of that, because Joey, not only because he's already so far ahead of everybody, but Joey's a pro, and he is very methodical about what he does. Joey is a businessman, and he's brilliant. He has figured out YouTube. Let me put it that way. And so he's not going to stop doing what he's doing. What he's doing has got him to where he is, and he's not going to stop doing that. He's going to keep on running with it, and because of that, nobody's going to ever touch him. I don't think there's ever going to be anybody like that. The only way, this is my opinion, the only way that's ever going to happen is if somebody steps outside of the fish keeping community. What I mean by that is, let's say, I'm not going to say myself because I wouldn't do this, but okay, I will use myself. Instead of making my vaping channel a second channel, if I had included that in this one, the vaping community on YouTube is much bigger than the fish keeping community. The largest vaping channel has almost 700,000 subscribers. So if I had included both within the same channel and it took off because of the vaping videos, that I could see happening. But a channel that remains exclusively about fish keeping and aquarium keeping, nobody's going to ever touch Joey. Because you're not going to have that person go viral. I don't mean to say this as if to say nobody is worthy or, you know, I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it to sound negative. What I'm doing is complimenting Joey because I just think he's gotten so far ahead. You know, he's the Usain Bolt of our little world here. And unless he completely quits, I don't think that there's ever going to be anybody that's going to catch him. And if you look at YouTube numbers, you look at trends, and you look at the way things go, I promise you, I would bet every dollar I have, and I think I've got $5 or $6, I would bet every dollar that I have, if Joey quit making videos today and just said, you know what, screw y'all, I'm out. I'm never coming back. His channel would continue to grow, and it would probably still be 2 or 3 years before anybody ever caught him. I know that sounds crazy, but I promise you that would happen. That's how far ahead he is. What's the next closest channel? Like 80,000 subscribers? I mean, Dustin is getting up there almost to 80,000 if he hasn't passed 80 already. Green Machine is last I saw, was a little bit higher than Dustin is. Joey's channel's 3 times the size of those channels. No disrespect to those other channels. It's 5 times the size of mine. I mean, that's just too far ahead. That's too big a lead. That's like a full lap lead for Usain Bolt. Forget it. Nobody's going to catch him. That was a huge, long rant. Sounded like I was just blowing Joey. I mean, come on. But I give credit where credit's due. Lemon chicken. Yes, it was delicious. My Oscar lived 19 years. My kissing gourami 25 years. Wow. I'm going to pass him up. You know what, IFG? I hope you do. Not because of anything other than I would love to see somebody's channel explode like that. I think that would be really cool. Far-fetched, no offense, but hey. And you know what? Knowing Joey the way I do, I've known him a long time, he would love to see that too. You don't believe me? Ask him. What do you recommend that I feed my polars? What? I have one in my cichlid tank and it eats on cichlid pellets. Is there something more specific I should be feeding? Polypterus palm? I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but is there a common name on that? The Jingles? The Jingles 74. Were you born in 74? That means we're the same age. We're like brothers. I don't know the fish you're talking about, so I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to answer that. Gotta go. Wish I could stay longer, but got some guests. Well, thank you, Cichlid Nez. And your name is so much easier to say in this live stream than the other. I'm sure you are long gone by now. And it just did it again. Oh. Do you think a big tank should have a wave maker? I think it depends on what the tank is, what the fish are that are in the tank, if they require a lot of water flow. And it's also going to depend on your filtration that you have in there, because if your filter's not moving the water enough, then absolutely, yes. I have one in there just because I have my tank so overstocked. Mike Angel is here. What's up, Mike Angel? Elvis is where it's at. Elvis, I love Elvis. I really do. When did the Flame Hawk become unavailable to the hobbyists? Flame Hawk? That's a new one to me. What happened to your Vapor channel? You're not on there anymore hardly. I'm recording 5 videos for that channel tomorrow. And the reason why is because I was for like 2 weeks, I had nothing to review. And then I got a bunch of stuff all at one time, and I like to use this stuff for a week or two before I do any videos on it. So that's why the videos have been sparse there. Look who's here. It's Wayne's Fish World. I walk in and I hear porn stars. Wayne, somebody, I don't remember who it was a while back, somebody wanted me to shout out a name that was a porn star name because they think I'm stupid and didn't know that. I watch porn. Come on. You do too. Everybody in here does. Unless you're like 12, and you probably still do it anyway. I wish Miss Lisa would finish her Mbuna series. It's kind of hard. We don't have an Mbuna tank anymore because we've got them mixed up with everybody else, so I don't know. Listened and danced to Elvis last night at our granddaughter's birthday. You gotta love Elvis. Daniel Quinn. My brother-in-law's name is Daniel Quirin, Q-U-I-R-I-N, and every single time I see your name in the chat, I'm like, oh my God, my brother-in-law's here. It's kind of weird. That's it. It keeps pushing them down the comments. It happens when texting on my phone. Makes sense. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Check out my last few videos, John. My fish rock out to Slipknot. You don't put Slipknot on your videos, do you? Because YouTube will take them down. Because you can't do that. You probably didn't know that. It is copyright infringement. So if they haven't pulled them down yet, that's good. Maybe your videos aren't monetized. That would change things. But yeah, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. In fact, I think it happened to Largo. I could be wrong, but I think it might have happened to Largo. And I don't know why this remains in my head, but it was a Three Doors Down song, I think, that he had playing in the background while he was doing a walkthrough of his inventory, of his fish room. It was just on in the background. It wasn't like a theme song that he put on the video, and I think they took it down. I don't know as a fact. Largo, if you're still here, maybe you could comment on that, but I think it happened. And he almost quit last year. Crazy to think that. Who almost quit? Who almost quit there, cichlid guy? I enjoy watching your channel along with my husband, who got me hooked into the hobby when he talked me into getting a tank. Nice! Well, thank you, Allison. I'm glad you like watching the videos. Woohoo! Corey is going to go viral. Watch him roll. I hope he does. Corey's channel is exploding. If you want to see a channel that's growing fast, watch Corey's numbers, because he's growing. And I'm not saying that because he's my friend. It's just a fact. Maybe if there's another YouTuber that has a following on another topic that goes into fish keeping, that could do it. Roman Atwood kind of touched on the fish thing, did he? He just bought his dad a Corvette too. The only reason I know that is because it popped up in my home screen feed. If PewDiePie or Boogie2988 or Linus Tech Tips got into fish keeping, they may grow our community larger. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was getting at before. It's like either that happens, or if there's a channel like any of ours, don't y'all go getting any ideas. But I'll give you a great example. I'm not going to name names, but there is a channel that has done something similar to what I've done, kind of broadened himself into another niche. But he didn't separate the channels. He kept them together, which is fine. I mean, you know, there's not breaking any rules doing that. So now his channel is half fish and half something else. And so you can't really call what he's doing. It's hard to include him in the group of fish channels. You know what I mean? There's not a video on Joey's channel that doesn't have anything to do with fish. There's not, to my knowledge, a video on my channel that has anything to do with anything but fish. So, you know, we're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, unless I started doing reviews on something that does go viral in the community, things like tech, like you're talking about, gaming, tech, cars, you know, makeup. I could do some great tutorials on makeup. Unless somebody does something like that, I don't see a channel going viral. And if it does happen, then it's going to be their channel has grown for the wrong reasons. Good for them, but they're not going to be a part of the fish world, if you know what I mean. It's my opinion anyway. Glad you liked the new corn. I can't wait for October. Yeah, me too. What about the Discus series? Yeah, that's another one that Lisa has a lot going on, and that's why you haven't seen that get done. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you people watching right now. Lisa is terrified to make videos. I'm just being honest with you. I love that woman. She's the best woman I know. But it's not that she doesn't like it. She's just, it gives her anxiety and everything else. So, you know, it's hard to convince her to do that. Joey said he almost quit. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that. He was never going to quit, though. YouTube is in Joey's blood. I mean, he is made for this. He ain't going anywhere. He's got too much of a good thing right now to walk away. There's no possible way he's going to do that. Corey is already viral. He is. I mean, Corey's channel is doing extremely well. PecTech does drones. PecTech actually does a lot of different things. PecTech's channel is a very, very eclectic channel. He does cosplay stuff. He does steampunk stuff. He does drones. He does his fish stuff. PecTech's just an eclectic dude. He does all kinds of stuff. But his fish channel is what has brought him the most of his subscriber base and all of that. And it's funny because you're saying that, and I'm looking at a picture of PecTech right now because my other live streams are down on the bottom of this screen. It's just weird. It's like he's staring at me. No names, John. Well, I just said PecTech. 3/74 here. Oh, okay. March 74. Well, you're a few months older than me. It's June. Paul Martin just sent me a message that said, "Congrats, you're all caught up." I never thought I would get caught up. I'm being honest though, because of the situation with the skipping of the comments. I'm sure a lot that I've skipped. Forrest does drones too. Yeah, Forrest. I'm just glad to see Forrest making videos again. I got a question. How do I keep my fluorescent lights for my aquarium from burning out? You don't. I mean, that's just what fluorescent lights do. They shouldn't blow up like the other person was talking about. You know, that's kind of a freak thing. But you really don't. I mean, what can you do? I have found when Lisa and I had the shop, we bought a bunch of cheap shop lights, the $8 to $12 variety, and those, they don't last long. They just don't. So you go and you spend another $8 to $10 and buy another one. No big deal. Cichlid Man is back. Yeah, he's back, but he's not 100% back. He's back, but has he shown his fish room yet? I don't even know if he's shown his fish room yet. Do you have a favorite oddball fish? I know that there is an actual category of oddballs, but I don't know what fish are in that category. Off the top of my head, my favorite oddball, I don't even know if it's under the category of oddball, but I love clown knives. I love them. I think they're the coolest thing ever. And I've seen some really big ones, and I would love to have a really big one. Really? I would love to have a really big one. That's something that Lisa's going to laugh her ass off when she hears. Did y'all see the video? You probably didn't, because I'm sure you're not all members of the Tank Talk group. You should be. If you're not, do it. Kevin Green shared a video that was a dude that had a tank that, I don't know, Kevin, you can chime in. That tank wasn't any more than like 400 gallons and had not just fish under the category of monster fish. They were monsters. They were giants. There was like a 3.5 foot long red-tailed cat that was so fat it couldn't get up off the bottom of the tank. Huge fish, and it had like 60 fish in the tank. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. There's a lot of big fish in that video. I've seen big clown knives, like 3 feet long, and when they get that big, they get really lazy, but I still think they're just really cool looking. Why haven't you hit that like button yet? Show your support and like the stream. Yeah, thank you, Paul. I honestly think what's happening here, since it's, we got 150 people watching right now, we're 2 hours into this, I screwed up last week. I mean, I screwed up last week. I expressed an opinion that was quite controversial. And I think that there's a lot of people that bailed because of that. That's fine. I mean, I understand it. You don't like hearing somebody's opinion that's differing from yours. That's fine. So I think I got some making up to do. I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass. I'm not going to, go overboard with, be the nicest guy in the world. I'm going to be me. I'm going to keep doing what I do. And start to build things back up again. So that's probably why there is not a lot of like activity, Paul. But thank you for trying that. What happened to the Rick? Do you know? I do know. He basically got burnt out. I messaged Rick for months without hearing a response, and I guess one day I caught him on a good day, and he finally messaged me back, and he was just like, "Look, John, I just burnt out. I mean, I didn't have anything left to do." And he wanted to focus on some other things and, his family and all of this. People don't quite grasp the amount of time that YouTubers spend YouTubing. It's a lot. It becomes almost like an obsession. And somebody mentioned about the Rays being something that made Joey almost quit. He almost quit before that, too, for this exact reason that I'm talking about right now. It becomes all-consuming. And there's quite a few people in this chat right now that can attest to this. And that's what happened to Rick. I mean, it got to be too much for him. And it breaks my heart because I love that guy. I love his videos. He was in that same category as far as I'm concerned as Peck Tech, where he was just a Looney Tune. And he had fun with his videos. And you could see that. And I loved it. And I miss his videos. I actually did reach out to him to see if he wanted to be a guest on the live stream. And I haven't heard back. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting to. Not because Rick is a jerk. He's not. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met. Certainly nicer than this guy right here. But he's just not into it anymore. It happens. I've seen that happen. If we've got some veteran YouTubers in here, like Wayne's Fish World's been around for a long time. If he's still here, he could tell you just like I could. I've seen, yep, there's Wayne. There's been so many channels come and go. I mean, I could give you a list right now of channels that have come and you've seen them bust their ass for a while and then they just disappear. And it's just because they burn out, so it happens. And yeah, FinTimes, YouTube can be a nasty place. Believe me, brother, nobody knows that more than this guy right here. Oh, 19 extra likes. That's cool, Paul. Thank you. You can get burnt easy. Yeah, I mean, Wayne, I know you've gone through it. I've gone through it multiple times. I've been making videos since 2011. And I know people, I mean, Joey's been doing it 3-4 years longer than that. I mean, it's very easy to hit a wall on YouTube. Anybody that is considering starting a YouTube channel, first of all, I very much encourage you to do that. Message me. I can give you whatever advice I have. I'm certainly no expert. Just look at last week's live stream. But it happens. I mean, because we as YouTubers, we get completely obsessed with everything. We're just obsessing over our analytics, and we're looking at this, and how come this video got a lot of views? How come Joey's videos get 10 times as many views as mine do? And it can be completely all-consuming. And when that happens, it's very, very easy to burn out. And some people fight through it. Some people step back for a little bit, like I've done, and then you come back with a vengeance, like I've done a few times, I'm proud to say. And then you have some people that just say, hell with it, I'm out. And they don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. I've seen it happen to channels. I've seen it happen to channels that I never thought it would happen to. But it does. I watch YouTube for 3 to 6 hours a day, you being one of 3. I have a lot of lax time at work. Who are the other 2, Hank? Don't burn out. No, I'm not going to burn out. And that's one of the things that the product reviews, this kind of goes back to last week. First of all, I didn't ask for any of these products that got sent to me. These people reach out to me and they want to send me stuff. So the whole argument from last week, whatever. I'm not doing what you understand what I'm saying? But the product reviews kind of sparked something with me. And this deal with customaquariums.com. But if I was going to do 2 videos a week talking about nothing but customaquariums.com, y'all would burn out. So I do need variety. I do need a lot of things. And I still have a lot of products that I haven't reviewed yet. One of them I was going to talk about tonight, and I was going to give this away on the live stream. But there's no way to do it unless I just pick somebody and say, hey, I'm going to send this to you. Which I suppose I could do. But, we'll wait till next week. I'll see if I can figure out something different. But one of the things, we've got 150 people here still. I'm going to ask you all a question. Something that I think would be really fun to do. And this kind of, once again, contradicts what I was saying last week. I'm not talking about doing a contest. I'm thinking about having some fun on the live streams. Mix things up a little bit. Whether I have a guest on or not, I could do this. I could have it to where I've got a few mods that these are good dudes, and they watch every week, and they help me out a ton. I could have it to where my mods will select a few people from the comments and say, hey, are you ready to come on? I wouldn't have them do this. I would ask them, you ready to come on the show? And these people would come on to the Google Hangout with me and whoever my guest is that day, and we could do like a fish trivia type thing. Have some fun with it, and whoever wins gets whatever it is I'm giving away that day. I think something like that, doing something different like that would be fun, just to add a little bit of excitement to the live streams. Folks, I could sit here and talk all night long. I love talking. I mean, it's just, I love talking about fish. I love talking about YouTube. I love talking about all these things. Even though talking about YouTube gets me a lot of hate, it's just think it would be something fun to do. And, you could win a prize. How cool is that? I mean, it's never a bad thing. Who? One of my favorite YouTubers. Okay, where are we at here? The key is not to look on the plate of other channels. IFG, that is some great advice. I mean, I agree with you, but I also disagree. I think you should look at what other channels are doing to get inspiration. But to compare yourself to other channels is a huge mistake. Because, again, we get right back into that conversation that we had about Joey. Joey is in another world from all of us. And he is Neil Armstrong past us. And so if you constantly compare yourself to him, you're never going to get anywhere. It's not fair to do that. I talked with somebody, I'm not going to say who, but I talked with a fellow YouTuber that was a smaller channel than mine. And he was doing that. He was, well, I look at Joey's and I see what Joey's doing and all that. I'm like, forget Joey. Compare yourself to me. Look at my stats. Look at what I'm doing. Look at what's happening on my channel. Work on passing me. And then once you pass me, work on passing Jenny and then Dustin and then Green Machine. And Joey is in another world. Don't worry about what Joey's doing. But I think it is important to see what other channels are doing. I'll give you an example. Like 3 years ago, I started doing Q&As. There was a bunch of people that followed suit to do Q&As. Did they copy me? No. They saw, well, actually, Forrest did. And he actually said in his videos, hey, John, I'm copying you. Don't be mad. But I thought that was kind of fun. But there was a few people that started doing Q&A videos. They weren't copying me. They saw an idea that worked. It got the audience engaged. It got a lot of views. People enjoyed it. So other people started doing Q&A videos. And there's still people to this day doing Q&A videos. It's a good format. It works. So you see that kind of stuff. And it gives you inspiration, gives you ideas of things to do. Not to copy, but ideas, you know, it gets the mind working. And you can, it's definitely something that can help you to grow your channel. But I don't agree with comparing yourself to other channels, because that's just not fair, especially Joey. Joey's in another league, and as soon as you figure that out, the sooner you'll have a lot more fun with YouTube. What's your biggest tip for YouTube? I mean, I've been going and going and going. What about your woodworking channel? Yeah, that kind of died off, Dakota. It's a long story. Woodworking is one of my absolute lifelong passions. And it's a long story. That's all I can say about that. Oh, Wayne, you're probably already gone, but goodbye, sir. Thank you for coming by. It's the first time I've seen you in here. That sounds really fun. Somebody saying something sounds really, really fun. You'll get a lot of views if you make a video of just you standing and say, I love my Al Borland shorts. You, Kevin Green, you are very good, you. All right, this is what I'm going to do right now. All right, this is how we're going to do this. Y'all familiar with this product? You're probably not. The Cobalt Egg Rocker. This is an absolute high-end egg tumbler for breeding African cichlids. You're not going to use this for your angel fry. You're not going to use this for breeding discus or anything like that. This is specifically for stripping female African cichlids. This doesn't strip them for you. You have to do it. And then you put the eggs into this, and it tumbles the eggs for you. It simulates what the mother would do with the fish and with the eggs in her mouth. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to give you a movie quote. And the first person that puts in the comment section what movie that's from is going to win this. That's what we're going to do today. So, I don't want to see this thing on eBay. If you're not an African cichlid breeder, don't participate. If you're somebody that has goldfish and you'll never have a use for this, leave it to somebody who needs it. This is an African cichlid specific item, okay? So, if you know the movie, don't answer this, and leave it for somebody that's an African cichlid keeper, okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do Scarface. Everybody knows Scarface. Come on. Let's see what everybody else is saying here. Burger Craft. What? I used Omega 1. Top 5 tips to get African cichlids to breed. We'll talk about that in a second, Andrew. I want that and need it. All right, Southern cichlids. Well, you better get your fingertips ready. The last thing I'm going to say about this contest, though. Just busting your balls. Stop busting my balls, KG. Good grief. Where'd you get that name from? Did you copy my name? Is that what you did? Haha. KG Cichlids, KG Tropicals. Haha. All right. This is one of the things that you're not going to like. There's 148 people in here watching right now. And I think it's very safe to say that not all 148 of you live in the United States of America. But you need to live in the United States of America in order to win this egg tumbler, okay? So, everybody's saying movies already, and you haven't even heard the quote. Pulp Fiction would be a good one to do, though. And yeah, KG, you're right. No Googling. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give the quote. Oh, damn it. Damn you, Cichlid Shack. How did you know I was going to do that? Because you heard me say you are very good, you. Damn you. Now I have to think of another quote. Shit. Thanks a lot, Largo. I hope your fish are ugly that I get tomorrow. I'm going to think of a different movie. Well, let's have some fun here. I'm going to think of another movie. And and then I'll do it. But it's hard now because I'm on the spot. See, if I'd thought of this before, I would have had one already picked out. But Largo heard me say, "You are very good, you," and that's exactly the quote that I was going to do. I was going to say, "You, no, got a fucking gift." Excuse my language. You are very good, you. That's what I was going to do. I'm sorry to say that word, but it's part of the movie. It's a movie quote. All right, so yeah, I got to put a quarter in the cuss jar. I mean, I was quoting a movie. Come on, cut me some slack on that. All right, let me think of another one. Y'all need to shut up because I keep reading these comments and I can't get it. I can't get anything. I'm going to try to keep things recent. I'm not going to do a quote from a movie that was made in 1962. All right, let me think here. I'm gonna go recent, but I'm gonna go for a hard one. Largo and I, we have very similar tastes, so everybody needs to stop talking about what I'm smoking. I'm not smoking. I'm a vapor. Give me a break. Shoot. All right, I got the movie. Now I need to think of the quote. All right, I got it. Yep. Let me tell you what this is going to require. You can't Google this, because if you try to Google it, it's not going to work. So you're going to have to be a movie connoisseur to know this. You're gonna have to go deep, okay? You can't Google this. It's not going to work. Because if you type this in Google, it's not going to come up with anything. Trust me. My God, please leave the comedy of the pro. Nobody's trying to be funny here, so leave me alone. Go away if you don't like it. All right, are we ready? It's not Roadhouse. People are putting names in the comment, and I haven't even said the quote yet. All right. So I'm not going to try to sound like the person. I'm not doing an impression of the person. I'm simply giving the line. And let me just tell you, if somebody said this to me, I would have got it. Okay? So it can be done, but it is a deep, deep quote in an extraordinarily popular movie. One of the best movies ever made. All right, are we ready? Let me just make sure I say it right, because if I don't, people are going to lose their minds. And you got this guy. He's looking out like, "Hey, what do you want from me?" What's that from? What movie is that from? I'm going to say it one more time. And you got this guy. He's looking out like, "Hey, what do you want from me?" What movie is that from? Go for it. First one to get it right wins the Egg Tumbler, as long as you live in the United States. It's not Duck Dynasty. I said a movie, not a show. Who said? That's what's happening right now. People are Googling it. It's not The Godfather, and no, you cannot guess the actor. That's not going to help you. Believe me, I sounded nothing like the guy. It's not Shawshank. It's not Rocky. It's not Forrest. It's not Casino. Not Scarface. Not Creed. No, it's not Casino. American Me, nope. G-Bear. It's Goodfellas. Somebody said Joe Pesci, but they didn't say Goodfellas. Joe Pesci's been in a lot of movies. It was Joe Pesci sitting in his mother's kitchen looking at the painting that his mother painted right after they killed that guy, and he was in the trunk outside. That's when that quote happened. He's looking at the painting, and he's pointing at the old man in the painting with the dog in the boat, and he says, and then you got this guy. He's looking out like, "Hey, what do you want from me?" It might not be the exact quote, but it was enough of the quote for G-Bear to get it. So G-Bear, this is what you need to do. You need to email me at kgtropicals@gmail.com, and I will get your information. And as long as you live in the United States, I will send this to you on my dime. I'll pay for the shipping. And I will send it out probably tomorrow because I've got some other stuff I need to send out too. Let's see what other people were saying. Caddyshack, nope. Good. And you know what's funny? G-Bear, you're the only one that said it. Everybody else, no, somebody else, CJ's Aquarium said Goodfellas. He knew it. He knows Joe Pesci. CJ's Aquarium's the only one that got it, but you were one too late, dude. Sorry. The Departed, a lot of people are saying The Departed. Donnie Brasco. I mean, did I sound a little bit on the Italian side? Did I do a good enough job with that? I must have, because everybody was guessing mafia movies. Something y'all might not know about me is that I am hardcore into mafia movies. Anything mafia, I'm all over it. It is one of my dreams, and I could order this off of, I'm sure, any website tomorrow. I want a Goodfellas movie theater poster. That's like one of my all-time most sought-after things that I've never tried to go out and buy, but that's one of those things that I've wanted forever. Exclude G-Bear next time. Why? What happened? Because he got it right? He's not... Well, yeah, you can't win twice. So next time we do something like this, G-Bear won't be able to win. Woohoo, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yep. What movie's that from? And the actor that said it. Come on, y'all got to know this one. To be fish mafias. I guess there must be some people that are a little bit late because people are still guessing. Oh, yeah, you better believe I'm going to watch Suicide Squad. Yes, I definitely am. Bronx Tale, great movie, but nope, not the right one. What protein skimmer do I use? I use the Fluval that came with the M60. Do I like it? Sure. I don't know if it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, but yeah. Dude, just bumped into the stream. You seem pretty cool, man. I'm going to carry on watching and possibly subscribe. Nice. Very cool. Just understand, follow whatever else the rest of your name is. This isn't normal. This is kind of like the late show on the live stream. So thanks for coming. Glad you're here, and I'd love to see you subscribe to the channel. I had it, but I live in Canada. Of course you had it, David. Of course you're going to say that. What are we talking about? I just did a... didn't he say something really mean earlier? Thought he said something. Oh, yeah, you're the one that said stop being a comedian. I was doing a giveaway for this. Doing a little fun little movie trivia for it. That's what's going on here. If you're not first, you're last. Yep, Talladega Nights. Ricky Bobby. Wirecast Go seems to be working great for you. Yeah. A couple of people have complained that everything is reversed. Is everything reversed? Like, this is my right hand with the tattoo. Is it reversed? I don't know. Yes, you can Burger Craft. What? Oh, Burger Craft asked the question. Okay. Nobody guessed the other one, though. What was the other quote that somebody put on there? Somebody put another good movie quote. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Nobody said anything about that. Talladega Nights. I love that movie. God, I love that movie. Watching Suicide Squad tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reviewers that are hating on that movie, but I hate reviewers, so it's reversed for you. From side to side, it's reversed. Okay. The only way around that then probably would be if I was to do what somebody just said, reverse the camera, like hit the button that has the two arrows, but then I won't be able to see myself, and I kind of like to be able to see myself. I don't want to just talk to my phone. You know what I mean? CJ, you probably do this. You're looking at yourself while you're talking. I kind of like to be able to do that. It makes me feel like I'm talking to someone, not just a little piece of plastic. So, I mean, if you don't mind it being reversed, then we'll keep it this way. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to start talking to some other people about coming on as guests. So I won't be able to use this if I have them on as guests anyway. So Do you ride motorcycles? I do when my motorcycle's not broken down. There's a bag of Colombian Bang Bang under the Bam Bam under the car. Wow. Everybody's throwing out the movie quotes now. See, if y'all keep throwing out these movie quotes, then I'm not going to have any to use in future episodes for giveaways. Kevin Spacey made a good Lex Luthor. Yeah, I didn't hate that movie as much as everybody else did. Yep, I mean, it's Superman. I'm not going to hate a movie with Superman in it. I have to read comments from the app, so no other way for me. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, if you want to be able to read the comments, I've got my phone right next to my computer, so I'm actually looking at the comments, if you can't tell already, on the computer. It's just easier, other than having half the screen covered up with the comments. So, we've kind of run out of things to talk about, haven't we? Somebody just said goodnight. Who said goodnight? I lost them. And everybody keeps saying 21. Why does everybody keep saying 21? What's that all about? 21. Burger Craft, if you're talking to me, my silver arowana died 3 years ago. So anyway, all right, let me see if G-Bear has messaged me. And he hasn't. G-Bear, what are you waiting for? Do you want this thing? If you don't claim it, I'm going to give it to somebody else. So you better tighten up, because we had a lot of people request to join Tank Talk, though. Wow. I'm going to have a lot of emails to go through. So, folks, it's probably going to be about that time to go ahead and sign off. We're going on 2.5 hours now. 5 tips to breed cichlids. I did say I would do that. I'm not going to be going to Chicago this year, unfortunately. I wish I could. My name is Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Yeah, I want to know how. Tips for breeding African cichlids. The first tip that I'm going to give you is the most important one. Watch my series on breeding African cichlids on the KG Tropicals YouTube channel. It is the most watched series of videos, playlists on my channel. The cool thing is you click the playlist, you click on the first video, and it just plays them all straight through. Now understand, these are some of the very first videos that I ever made. The quality's terrible, the editing's terrible, but the message is the same message that I would deliver today. So just understand that going in. What are the people congratulating? Convict Fry, good for you, Aquarium Co-op. All right, so let's talk about breeding African cichlids. I just gave you the first tip. The next tip, people don't like to hear this because they don't want to think about this, but breed something that's going to be easy to get rid of, because if you are successful breeding African cichlids, you're going to have a lot of fry. And if you don't have anywhere to put them, if you don't have anywhere to give them away or to sell them, then it's not going to be fun for you anymore. So breed something that's going to be easy to get rid of. Don't ask me what those are. That's a whole other conversation. I talk about it in that series of videos. Fish that are good to breed, that are easy to get rid of. The bottom line is they're the most common fish out there. Fish like yellow labs, German reds, OB peacocks, which are not exactly easy to breed, but sunshine yellow Benga peacocks, anything orange, yellow, red. People love those. They sell very fast. Electric blue Alis are another one that are a big seller. You won't have a hard time getting rid of those fish. And believe me, getting rid of them is part of the deal. And if you don't have anywhere to get rid of them, you're going to run out of having fun. Make sure you have more tanks than you think you need, because you don't want to run into an issue where you have so many fry you don't know what to do with them. Ask James Largo, and he can tell you. What's that? 3, 4? One of the biggest tips that I would give anybody as far as breeding African cichlids, if you're setting everything up from scratch, Craigslist is going to be one of your best friends, because you're going to find people that are getting out of the hobby and they just want out and they just want to get rid of all of their stuff. You could take advantage of that and buy their stuff from them super cheap. So Craigslist, one of your best friends. And then, I know this sounds corny, and I know it seems like I'm promoting myself here, and in a way that's all of us ever do on YouTube anyway, so get used to it. But just spend some time on YouTube. YouTube is absolutely one of the best resources on the planet for anything that you want to know about. Now, understand that everybody, Joey, me, maybe not Aquarium Co-op, because, I mean, that's how the dude puts food on the table, but all of us people we're just people that do this. You know what I'm saying? We're not marine biologists. Corey has certifications and stuff like that. He's a lot smarter than me, but we're all just dudes that keep fish. But the reason why YouTube is still a good place is because you can get a bunch of different point of views from a bunch of different people, regular people just like you. You can hear about their experiences. You can hear what they've done that has worked, what they've done that hasn't worked. It's a great, great place to be. So spend some time on YouTube. Spend some time on Google. Make sure you have plenty of tanks because your operation will grow very fast. Breed fish that are easy to sell, and understand you're going to do a lot of work because breeding fish, raising fry is all about clean water, lots of food. So there you go. I don't know if that's 5, but there you go. There's a bunch of tips. Keep up the great work. Something I ask everyone: would you rather own a fish farm or your previous fish store? Oh man, that's a great question. And having been to fish farms, I think my answer would be fish farms. And a lot of people are saying goodnight. Good night, folks. Thanks for coming by. I'm going to be saying goodnight here in a couple of minutes too, because we're almost at 2.5 hours. Fish farms are awesome. And having all of those fish and having them breeding and raising them in these huge concrete vets and the big in-ground ponds and stuff, it's just really cool. I went to Old World Exotics last year and spent an entire day there, and it was just a magical place. It was a wonderland for anybody that is into fish. It was just wonderful. I loved it. Frontosas there that were, bigger than your head. It was unbelievable. So I think I would probably choose a fish farm. And I think that I would probably not be open to the public. And I don't mean to sound that like a jerk, but I don't think I would be open to the public because that just complicates everything. I think I would be exclusively online. That's what I would do. Live Fish Direct style. But they open once a week to the public. So there you go. I mean, I think I would choose a fish farm. I'm going to go to the comments one last time, and then I'm going to say goodnight. Can we see the reef tank? No, not this week. Maybe next week. Doggone it. I can't see them there, discus. Can you move the camera towards the fancy tank a smidgen, sir? They're all right there. What are you talking about? Well, there's 3 of them. The rest of them are on the other side. But I'm not going to move anything around because I'm going to go ahead and sign off. We're about to hit, let's see, one more. Come on, they're coming through over and over again. Somebody say something. Somebody say something because we're about to hit 12. There it is, 1,200 comments. There you go. Been a subscriber for a long time. Glad I finally got to sit on a live stream. Keep doing what you're doing, John. Love the videos. Thank you, Lindsay. Do sailfin pleco? Okay, I'm not going to answer any more questions, folks, because it's 10:30 at night here. I worked all day. I came home, slammed some food down my gullet, and then I got on here to talk to y'all. So I have had a blast tonight. This is, it started off a little rocky because of people being what people are. But it turned out to be a lot of fun, and I sure have enjoyed myself. I hope you have too. For those that are in here right now, if there's anybody that has been here since the start of the stream, I know Paul Martin has. There's been a lot of people that have been here for most of it. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much, Paul, for your help. IFG, thank you for your help. Corey, everybody that's helped out tonight with the stream. I can't believe you sacrifice Thursday nights to spend with this guy right here. It just blows my mind. So thank everybody for coming by and watching. I've had a blast, and I can't wait to do this again next week. Don't forget, folks, anybody that's here right now, 125 people still, you haven't left yet. Big, big, big announcement on Tuesday at 9 o'clock on the Tank Talk Facebook group. If you're not a member yet, get on it because it's going to be big. So Lisa's going to be on with me. Maybe not for the whole thing, but for this announcement, she's going to be on with me, and it's going to be a big deal. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you once again. Wow, of course, right at the end. Thank you once again for coming by, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. How do I stop this thing? I don't know. CJ, oh, here it is. You all have a good night.